Hello, sports fan, and welcome to the Packs for Breakfast All-Star Comparison Teams of the 1991 Fleer Ultra All-Star Team that we put together on Packs for Breakfast against the 2021. Panini makes these cards. This is a 2021 set, which means this was based off the COVID year. So we put together our all-star teams. We opened a bunch of packs of cards every Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And we open a bunch of packs of cards and we try to come up with all-star teams for football, basketball, baseball. We're going to do a NASCAR one. I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to try it because we're both NASCAR fans. So, well, I'm a NASCAR total fan. He is a fan of a certain era. Too much NASCAR right now. This is football. Football! So, right here we're comparing the generations basically. When we opened up our packs of cards for the 1991 season, we came up with John Elway and Dan Marino, two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in that era. Well, with the Panini cards, here's the thing about the Panini cards. The Panini cards, they look nice. They really do. They're a nice card. Once we get into the regular cards, these are MVP cards for Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes. But the regular cards are very cool looking too. They look like a season ticket. So they're very cool looking. But the problem with the Panini cards is they don't highlight anybody who's like a bench player or an offensive lineman or a kicker or a punter. And I'm a football fan, so I want all the players when I open packs of cards. Not just the stars, not just the names. I want everybody. I don't mind if the center for the Carolina Panthers is in there. It helps me learn who he is if I have his card. But these are the four quarterbacks. So is 2021 better than 1991? I think the answer is pretty obvious when you have Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady going over against Dan and John. Dan and John were amazing in their time. Absolutely. I mean, you look at Dan's numbers, 61,000 yards plus, 420 touchdowns. He was the MVP in 1984. He played from 83 to 99. He had an amazing long career. He's the only guy up there, though, that did not get a Super Bowl. In fact, he's the only guy up there to not win an MVP in a Super Bowl. All these guys won MVPs for the season, but he did not do it. He made it to a Super Bowl. He never won one. John won two. John had great numbers, too. 51,000, almost 52,000 yards, 300 touchdowns. 226 interceptions, though. I mean, that's a close ratio. But he was a gunslinger. But he also rushed for 3,407 yards and had 33 touchdowns rushing. So he wasn't a running quarterback per se. He was a scrambler. He definitely was not in the vein of a Michael Vick or a Lamar Jackson or a Randall Cunningham. Cunningham was probably still more of a scrambler, but way more athletic than John. But not by a lot. I mean, but he was definitely more athletic. But the debate really is going to be between Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes. Because we know 2021 is going to win this argument. We really do. I mean, it's like as much as I love John Elway, I'm a Bronco fan. That's my quarterback. And Dan Marino was amazing as well. Tom Brady is the GOAT. I know there are people that will try to argue that because you may hate Tom Brady, just like I have a weird hatred for Derek Jeter and will not give him the credit that he is due. It's like there's a lot of people that hate Tom Brady and won't give him the credit he's due. But if you look at Tom Brady's just as pure numbers, we know about the 7 Super Bowl wins. We know about the 10 Super Bowl appearances. We know that he was a 5-time Super Bowl MVP. He was an MVP of the league 3 times. He had 89,214 yards in his career, 649 throwing touchdowns. That's just, he started 333 games. And something that he didn't, you didn't really see him do very often was run, but he still had 1,123 rushing yards in his career and 28 rushing touchdowns. It's like John Elway, who was more of a running quarterback, only had 5 more touchdowns than Tom Brady did. Now, of course, we all know the story of Tom Brady. Got picked in the 6th round. The funny part was he wasn't even the first pick in the 6th round by the Patriots. They took a guy named Antoine Harris out of Virginia. He was a strong safety with the 187th pick. Antoine Harris did play like 5 seasons in New England, had 52 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 sack. He got some Super Bowl rings thanks to Tom. But the funny part is that 6th round pick that the Buccaneers used, or the Patriots used on Tom Brady was their supplemental pick. If they didn't have a supplemental pick in the 6th round, they may not have gotten Tom. Of course, the rumor is that Bill Belichick actually liked another quarterback a little more, and his name it's blanking right now in my head. But he ended up going to the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm really having a hard time remembering his name right this second. But that was the quarterback that really Belichick wanted to take late in the draft. But because the Niners took him first, they went with Brady. And the rest, of course, is history. But the debate would be, would you take Pat Mahomes or would you take Tom Brady? You know what Tom Brady is. You know what he has. Will Pat Mahomes match those numbers? In his 8 seasons, he's got 31,000 yards, 239 touchdowns. He has 3 Super Bowl wins, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He's also won the league MVP twice in 109 starts. That's amazing stuff. For your first 8 years to put up that kind of, to already have a legacy that eclipses pretty much even Elway and Marino's, and you've only played 8 years. And it's not like you can sit there and go, oh, it's the great teams around Pat Mahomes that have given him those rings. You just know Pat is great. You can see it. The eye test tells you that he is great. But if you were going to pick any of these 4 quarterbacks to be your quarterback, who would you take? For me, I am going to take Tom Brady. I was one of those people that early on in his career, I couldn't stand Tom Brady. I rooted against Tom Brady. In that Super Bowl where they took on the Giants and they were undefeated, I was rooting for the Giants hard because I did not want Tom Brady and the New England Patriots to get that undefeated season and have that accolade. And I'm still happy that they didn't get it because I'm not a big Belichick fan either. So it's like I was happy when Tyree made that amazing catch and never played football again, I don't think. But yeah, I would take Tom Brady. Who would you take out of these guys? Because it's like, just like we said that Dan Marino is the only one of these guys to never have a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP. There is one guy up here that was not a first-round pick. Yeah, that's right. Tom was not a first-round pick. This guy, he wasn't. But the other 3 were. Pat was taken 10th. I think Marino was taken 27th. And John was taken 1st overall in the 83 draft. So let me know who you would take. I'm taking Brady. If you've got a good argument of why one of these guys should beat Brady, go ahead and put it in the comments below. But for now, that's All-Star for now.